Hello, my name is Eray Altunbozar. I think we are live. So I would like to introduce myself. I am the founder of AirCar. Uh, I started AirCar with a brief history of AirCar. I would like to give it here in late 2017 to start the age of flying cars. That was my dream, and I wanted to work on it. So it was late 2017 with a handful of companies in the world. I started AirCar, trademarked the name as soon as I started the idea pop up, and we start working on what to build, to be honest. And this is how AirCar was born. Since 2017, we built many prototypes, worked with a lot of engineers, a lot of professors to find the best model that we can commercialize as soon as possible without spending billions of dollars when I go to market fast with the model that is affordable. So my focus initially was to be able to build a product that uh, almost everyone can buy. That meant not to build very large aircrafts, but the one that what actually people needs. So when we do the market analysis and everything, we end up having the model with two-seat will be the best version because 90% of the time we only use the front seats of the cars. And so this is how AirCar idea, the initial model was born. And we, as I mentioned, we built many prototypes. It's better to show what we built with a video, and then I will continue to give the presentation for the company. So I will share the video, what we built. It's also available in our website. Maybe you've seen it, but I would like to share that as well. We shoot this video about a year ago, so it's not new. The new ones are coming, but it shows what we built. So I will be presenting that video, and I will continue my presentation, and the people can join at the same time, I think. Yeah, that's the video. Also, I would like to introduce myself again for the people who have joined recently. I've seen a lot of people just joined. My name is Eray Altunbozar. I'm the founder and CEO of AirCar. AirCar I have founded in late 2017 to build electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So we still keep developing the products. We have many other products as well that I will also mention and welcome. Now I will switch to the presentation. And we also have another video. I will show that video later on after the presentation is over. Our other product lines are coming to live as well. Sorry, I have to go back. Okay. So as I mentioned, this is the presentation also will be available invest.aircar.io. If you want a copy of this presentation, you can go and get this presentation as well. I will be go over on the details because in this presentation we have a lot of details to cover and a lot of questions. Those answers your questions. And the problem starts actually. I don't want to be mainstream here, but roads are one-dimensional. You just go one way. The sky is always have been empty. Yeah, we have helicopters, airplanes, but when you look at the sky, that was my intuition. Like it is almost free to fly, and it's extremely expensive to build roads. Per mile base, sometimes roads cost like $40 million. So it's extremely expensive and the cities are getting crowded. And when you look at the numbers, we lose about 100 hours per year per driver that, wasted $1,000 per year per driver again. And now driving 60 minutes, 90 minutes are normal. I think in 2026, it shouldn't be normal. And nobody exactly knows why we couldn't be able to utilize the sky and just stuck on the road. And let's say you make a similar comparison. If you fly from point to point in city, it's 12 minutes versus if you drive, it's 60 minutes. So there's a huge difference. We kind of solved the problem, especially in long ranges with Boeing and Airbus, with commercial, aircrafts. But the problem, and most of the time that we consume time, is in cities. Nobody's addressing the cities with the product that is affordable. So this is where we are targeting. And there's a lot of questions: how they gonna fly? What is the licensing? How we gonna fly? It's just like driving a car. If you go back 100 years and ask somebody, rides a horse and tell them, yeah, there will be millions of cars, they will go like, how is it gonna happen? You don't have the traffic rules, you don't have roads, you don't have gas stations, you don't have mechanics. We had nothing. And then that transition actually happened pretty fast because nothing stops technology. And with the technology we built for AirCar, I think these questions won't stop us. We have the answers for those questions, most of them, and some of the questions will get answered along the way. This is not just like a software company. We are changing how we live. So most of the problems will be ironed out along the way. This is why we always say it is like personal flight is now within reach. It's not like air taxi. It's not like a helicopter that costs like $3 million. This is what is real that we can certify with the new LSA pathway. LSA is Light Sport Aircraft Certification. Federal Aviation Administration just released what's called Mosaic. We will be able to apply to get certified the AirCar in, I think, 1 or 2 months, and we will do that right away. And that's a streamlined certification process. As soon as the CVTOL is for 2 passengers, and this is what we try to do. We are not building an air taxi model that the certification is as hard as getting certified, just like a Boeing or commercial airplane. But for this one, it is certified under LSA. It's fairly easy and quick way to get it certified. Doesn't mean we don't do the required engineering. We do all the safety aspects. We work on them. But I may say it takes a year compared to what it takes 7 years. And AirCar will be safe, so there's no compromise on that as well. And the second question is like, how are we gonna fly it? And that's also written. You just need a sport pilot license. I will also deep down on this one. That takes 30 hours of training. So it's all available in training schools, and as AirCar probably we will have a lot of deals with training schools, the pilot schools, or we may even open one of them, but 30 hours of flight training, and then you become a pilot, and then you can fly AirCar. So that's also in my eye, it's a solved problem. And the most important thing is that you can buy it. You can buy it, you can fly it. The price is now $99,000. It's not cheap, but it's also 4 times less costly than two-seat helicopter and 4 times less costly to operate per hour basis. So the price will only go down. It's when people say like, how are we going to sell it $99,000? Is like, I have the bill of material, I have the technology, we know everything to the bolt and nuts, and we know all the costs and how much carbon fiber goes in it, what are the motors, what are the copper we use, whatever, we have all those things. So $99,000, we are still making a lot of profits, and the price won't go up probably. We will try to push it down so we can sell millions of those units. And once we will be able to do that, this is how the cities will look like. I mean, it might be scary, but we will get used to that pretty fast because it just changes how we live, and transportation will be like much faster. Not for everyone. Some people get scared. Some people don't want to fly, but most people, I think, will like it and will like to use air cars. Like 10 years, probably this will be the view of the major cities. And like, how are we going to make money? What models we have? Since the inception, we wanted to keep the model as simple as possible, because we knew even that simple as possible still would be significantly hard to do it. And also we needed to make money. We needed to introduce models that we can start without waiting FAA to give us green light. We didn't want to spend billions of dollars. So we focused on something that, sorry, to turn this off. So we focused on the model that we can scale to other models, that we can use the same technologies on different platforms. So the one in the middle is AirCar LSA. This is the first model we built and fly. It's for 2 passengers, get certified under light sport aircraft certification. It's for again 2 passenger. It flies 40 minutes, flies 30 to 50-mile range with today's batteries. And again, with today's batteries, it charges in 60 minutes. Yes, it can charge in 15 minutes, but it eats up a lot of battery life. So to keep the battery life prolonged, we just say 60 minutes, but it's possibly we can charge way faster. And we have integrated ballistic parachute. Just in case all the redundancy fails, we have the parachute opens for the whole aircraft. So nobody gets hurt in our products. This is the first priority. Also on the left-hand side, you see the AirCar Ultralight. This is not the exactly finished model. We flew the one that in the video you see me flying with a metal cage. That's a early prototype that we test the batteries, flight controllers, softwares, motors. Now we are making it look like the one on the left-hand side. We will introduce that very soon in our showroom in San Francisco. That's for 1 passenger. That flies about 30 minutes. With additional batteries, we can increase the flight time, but the batteries gets costly. So 30-minute flight time with the most optimal battery. This is what we get. And it flies about 25 miles range. Again, 60-minute charge. We use exactly the same battery modules that we use for AirCar, let's say AirCar Ultralight, so that charging times are same. They share the same cell technology. And again, it will have ballistic parachute. This is certified. We don't even need a certification for ultralight. As soon as it is below 254 pounds, you don't even need a license, a pilot's license, a certification, nothing. You just can't fly over the cities or come close to airports. You just fly it for fun. And there is also a big market for it. It's called ultralight category, and we probably price it $50,000. I'm also trying to push it lower, but now probably we will start selling that for $50,000. I think we will sell a lot. On the right-hand side, you see the drone. I will also show the video, flight video of this one. There's also tons of use cases for this one, but the model uses exact same batteries, the motors and avionics and almost same software with the AirCar Ultralight. So anything we develop for AirCar LSA, the batteries, the cooling system, the software, now we are transferring those technologies to the models that we can start selling tomorrow without any certification needs. So that gave us reduced risk and accelerate our commercialization time. So the one on the left-hand side and the one on the right-hand side, we can sell it tomorrow. And we will start receiving pre-orders for these two models next month. We already received pre-orders. We take them, but we will update the website very soon. The one in the middle AirCar, we already received pre-orders for 170 units from our website. That's open that people can pre-order. I think I just received the pre-order like 2 minutes ago. My phone popped up. So that's there. And I already showed the video. AirCar is not like a render company. There's a lot of eVTOL companies. We call them paper aircraft companies. They look good on paper, but once you transition from renders to CAD designs to flight to reality, it's really challenging. This is why it took us like 8 years. We built 10 prototypes. We almost never crashed them, but we just made them lighter, less vibration, less noise, less electromagnetic interference. So we try to combine everything. We try to make it more crash worthy. We just kept changing the chassis, the aerodynamics. We worked with the world-class team over there. We changed the motors, and it took us like 10 prototypes. And we did over 1,000 test flights, and including me flying inside. I'm the CEO and also the test pilot of the company. I make sure everything is working well. And so far, I'm here. I had no accident, nothing, because I trust the product after 10 prototypes. Of course, we don't just go and sit inside right away. We do a lot of test, and once we get confident, and then we sit inside. As I mentioned, in 7 days when we launched the AirCar, there's always market analysis, like flying car industry will be like $1 trillion. The report is coming from Morgan Stanley. It will be $1 trillion market by 2040, whatever. There's like a lot of buzz going on. I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I got to see the market. We only built a product, and there's a lot of other eVTOL companies claiming they receive like tons of orders, but you see that those like $2 billion orders coming from one company. It's not like binding, kind of stuff. So I said, I got to see myself. What is the market? What is the demand? So we just changed the website and put that you can pre-order your car. You pay non-refundable $250. The lawyer just told us, don't go over $250, otherwise you have to do it refundable. I said, okay, just make it serious, make it non-refundable, $250. In 7 days, no marketing, we received over 100 orders. And I was like, oh, really, there's a big market. And we almost never did an advertisement on it. I think now we exceed 170 orders. Now in this presentation says 150 because it was from last month. And there is a lot of demand from different countries, not only USA, from Germany, UK, Ireland, Qatar, Turkey, Bahamas, Japan. There's a lot of countries, just people just go and without asking any questions, they do reservation. Hopefully we will deliver them the first 100 units in 2017, and then 300 units for 2028, 2027 and 2028, I'm sorry. That's another important topic. We've seen a lot of companies, they did partnerships, especially for critical components like carbon fiber structures, propulsion, flight control, avionics systems, autonomous, battery system. Battery work fine, but the other aspects, we've seen them failing in their partnerships. So I said, we got to learn everything. We got to do everything in-house. We don't rely on anybody at the initial phase. we build something that works, and then to get it like from 98% to 100%, yeah, we can do collaboration. So initial design, the vehicle design, I have seen companies, they buy designs paying 20, $30 million. I mean, it's just insane. Uh, the first design that we build in-house, uh, of course, we studied a lot of aerodynamics, we did a lot of testing, but the whole design is done in-house. And the second part, carbon fiber, it's like black magic. Um, it's almost 100% possible to do analysis with computers. So you have to know how carbon fiber behaves. We use a lot of computer tools to optimize the weight, optimize the material, and everything. But at the end, you have to know how to work with carbon fiber, especially for the structures. It's very hard. Yeah, there are car companies mostly in Italy doing, carbon fiber structures. But if you go them, like big names, and they spend like 20 years to be able to come to that stage. So yeah, we work a lot with composites. I think, especially structure parts. I think the AirCar main fuselage is, I think, below 80 pounds, and it's insane. And we build a lot of prototypes to come there. We change a lot of suppliers, so we have that know-how as well. And the propulsion motors, we build our motors. We just couldn't build the inverter yet. It's a little bit hard to do that, and it's like costly. But we build our own motors. Time to time we buy them, time to time we build them, but we know how to do those motors. It's very important, like high-tech motors. Again, batteries, we buy the cells, but we assemble them. We assemble the cells in-house and connect to battery management system, and so far it worked very well. Again, flight controllers, avionics. We haven't built the flight controller, but we are now working on it. Very soon we will have our own flight controller hardware. Hardware is hard, especially like flight critical components like flight controller. We are very careful working with a large team to build the flight controller that we need. So that's coming as well. Again, for the software, uh, we do all the software in-house, and uh, so the software part and hardware part, they go hand in hand. So we are very strong on that end as well. And the number six, autonomy. To be honest, when I started the company, I said, yeah, it has to be like 100% autonomous. Nobody will be a pilot. That was my I misjudged the topic. Now I switched that transit. We had like 12 AI engineers working on autonomy and simulation. They did pretty well job, but to be honest, it's not possible to do it fully uh, autonomously without pilots control. So you have to have a pilot. And yes, big commercial airplanes, they fly autonomously, but there's always a pilot. So I changed that perspective. We already have a lot of know-how in this end, but the new regulation lets us to fly with the pilot. So I said, okay, just don't go in the future, like 10 years, focus on what we can deliver, and what we deliver is a piloted aircraft. Yes, we are still working on AI systems. Like if, let's say, pilot is doing an error, the aircraft uh, minimizes those errors. There are still software is flying the vehicle, but the pilot is in charge. But if a pilot wants to hit a wall, the aircraft, it won't. So it will stop the pilot. And make no mistake, AirCar is intelligent, but the first pilot is always in the loop. This is the law. This is not my vision. My vision is they should be autonomous. This is why we have like 2 seats. Um, we shouldn't have a pilot, and we should operate it as like air taxi, but reality turned out it doesn't work that way, at least for the next 10 years. So we will keep working on those things, but we will be ready when the regulation is ready, I may say. So this is the big thing. A lot of people says, how are you gonna fly it? I go like, this is like an electric helicopter. If a helicopter can fly, it is a pilot. We have a pilot. They have, motors. They use energy source. Uh, differently. We use electric source. Nothing changes. Again, a lot of companies chased air taxi models, especially the autonomous vehicles. It didn't work well. So FAA said, like last year, even this year in 2026, hey, a lot of money is invested in flying cars or eVTOLs. Sometimes I say flying car. I know it's like the eVTOL, but it's strange to use eVTOL for some people. FAA said, okay, I'm changing the light sport aircraft regulation that any aircraft, as soon as it has 2 seats with different configuration, can be a multi-copter, it can be a helicopter, whatever, with a weight limit. Weight limit is like over a ton. If it doesn't do commercial operations, it will get certified under light sport aircraft. To be able to fly it, you get a light sport aircraft license, and that's called Mosaic. We will be able to apply under Mosaic light sport aircraft certification, I think, next month. So this is the FAA's approach. They said, to be honest, air taxis will take more time because it will be commercial product. There will be a lot of paying passengers. If they crash, that's a big deal. If you buy a product yourself, you're a pilot, get your insurance, you get your training, product is certified under ASTM standards. FAA even doesn't check them most of the cases. We work with designated engineers. But we comply the ASTM standards. For a car, it's pretty easy to comply. You fly it. If you put a ballistic parachute, nice to have. Some countries like Germany kept it mandatory. FAA, USA didn't kept it mandatory, so it changes country to country. So you start, and then we gather data. We see what happens, and then we open the air taxi. This is the approach. This is like a lottery for air car because our product that already flies for 2 passengers, it's electric. And we perfectly comply with this regulation. And I think we will be one of the first companies in US to apply this certification. And hopefully we will be able to get the certification. And we will be also one of the first companies in US who gets a type certification for their aircraft. We will see. So FAA is pushing, the government is pushing. There's also a lot of policy momentum around like cargo emergency response products like drones, the use in logistics, military programs. Yeah, there's a lot of incentives for those things, but the most important part is that now we have green light that we can certify AirCar, start selling them. People will be able to start using them. This is the key to start what all we are looking for. And the market size, yeah, we kind of proved the market size ourselves, but I'm not sure if we will hit $1 trillion global eVTOL market. It's a huge number. Eventually, we will get there. But our focus is not that $1 trillion. Our focus is like the market in $100 billion. That is personal eVTOL market. It is massive, untapped demand. We also seen those demand. What I mean personal is what we do as AirCar. Any 2-seater is personal. The big names like Joby, Archer, they are not personal eVTOLs. They are like commercial eVTOLs. They are like 4 or 5 seats, so they are excluded in this market. And also, we are tapping cargo and logistics with our cargo version. AirDrone 100, it carries 100 kilo. And then soon we will release the 200 version as well. And it's drone and drones for the cargo. There's already a big market. It's obvious. But most of the drones, of course, in the market, they are small. They can carry like 10 pounds, 20 pounds. What we are looking after is that to be able to carry like 200 pounds, 400 pounds. I think there's also a huge market for it. And then market analysis claim they're like $300 billion market size will be there by 2040. So what we focus is out of that $1 trillion total market, if that happens by 2040, we are focusing on initially the $100 billion personal eVTOL and $300 billion cargo logistics section. And from here, we will transition the urban air taxi market, which is $450 billion. This is where that like other companies are playing. We will get there, but first we need to prove that it works. We sell the product, we get the revenue, and then we move on. So how are we gonna make money? It's obvious. AirCar is $99,000. The Ultralight will be $49,000, and AirDrone probably $19,000 to $29,000 with like extra batteries, but still is extremely affordable products. When people see AirCar, they go like, it's the price of a Ferrari, like 300, 400,000. I go like, no, $100,000. They go like, no, you're not gonna sell. They're like, pay me $100,000. I deliver you one. I already delivered the product. For a client, we just removed the batteries. We told them, you can't fly it yet. It's not legal, but you will fly it very soon. We will give you your batteries. He said, fine, take the money. So interesting. We will sell the product with, it's very important, with almost 50% gross margin. But that 50%, what I mean, the cost of manufacturing and the sale point. Of course, we have other costs like operational costs and marketing costs, whatever, but whatever we can build out of factory, that's like half of the cost what we are selling in here. And these numbers are for low volume. After we sell 1,000 units, AirCar LSA, probably intuitively, I will try to reduce the costs so we can sell more, and then we can start to tap massive market. We can easily go and sell AirCar for $200,000 and try to maximize the profit, but how many units we can sell? If you go from $100,000 to $50,000, your sale number will, the unit wise, you will be able to sell 20 times more. This is the analysis. So it's very important. The price is low, product is perfect, high quality, and it's still profitable. In the end, the car is like 700 pounds of product. You know, compared to a car, electric car, it's like 1.5 ton, 2 tons. You compare the material, we are still expensive, right? And the second part, yeah, we make more money in the customization, premium configuration, battery upgrades, service, the part changes, whatever. There's always a big profit margin in the middle. And in the future, after 2030, once we prove that the AirCar is safe, it flies well, the AI system is working well, the autopilot is working well, we can remove the pilot, and then we can start exploring air taxi service. But first, we need to show that product is working well. If we do that, it's hugely profitable. We are doing that in future expansion on the, you see on the right-hand side, the white model AirCar. Per vehicle can make $750,000 revenue per aircraft per year. It's hugely profitable. An AirCar is costing us like $50,000, and this product brings in $750,000 according to our calculations. This is huge. We will do that, but first we need to prove and sell, and we gotta let everybody in this world know what AirCar is. This is the focus, and then we will explore the better versions. Now, zero marketing, zero paid marketing. We received over 170 orders. People can pre-order. This is how we sell. Just we don't spend money for nothing. So people can go to our website and they can pre-order. In near term, like in this year, the Ultralight, the single seater, and the cargo drone sales will begin. We already receiving orders. People are calling us or sending us email, but it's not on the website yet. We will update that as well. And we are opening our showroom in San Francisco probably next month. We are a little bit late on this end, but we are trying to get the approval from airport. We got it. Our base will be in San Rafael, in northern San Francisco. It's not too far. It's like 20 minutes from San Francisco. The reason we choose there is that we will also be able to fly the products. So we don't want to just do a showroom and show people a static model. That will be a brand experience center. So we will inform you about those things later on. You will see that on our social media as well. I think it will be one of the world's first flying car showroom with different products. Like you will be able to see the two-seater, you will be able to see the single-seater and cargo drone, and hopefully, we will be able to give you a test ride. We will see. We are very excited for it. The competitive, it's really competitive with this pricing points. I think for the next 10 years, we will not be able to answer the demand. That's my honest thought. Because if you go to on the left-hand side, you see the AirCar Ultralight model, $49,000. And then in the middle, you see Jetson One, $148,000. And then you see the Pivotal Helix. It's also in there in, I think, San Francisco, $190,000. Almost same product, does the same job. And we are pricing that $49,000. Other guys are pricing 3 to 4 times. I mean, good luck to them. On the right-hand side, the same thing. You see the AirCar, $99,000. You see Robinson R22. Robinson makes absolutely perfect helicopters. I respect their heritage, and but it's $375,000 and $214 per hour operating cost, compared to $52 AirCars per hour operating cost. So AirCar compared to a helicopter with the same, two-seat configuration, about 4 times more affordable. Yes, helicopter flies longer. They are not electric, but for AirCar, we don't think we need fly 200 miles in the initial phase. We know the reality. We are not strong in that. And if we switch to normal engine, gasoline, yes, we can increase the range, but why? Batteries are getting better. And when we do the calculations, people don't drive more than 20 miles per day. If you fly that's like 12 miles. AirCar easily covers multiple flight routes. So in cities, we don't need that range. If you want to go cities from San Francisco to Los Angeles, get an airplane, not an AirCar. Also, there's an EHang. It's a Chinese company, EHang 216. They get certified in China. It's called restricted certification, only for touristic activities. Even though it is a Chinese company, it's $410,000. Exactly, 2-passenger configuration, very similar to AirCar configuration. AirCar flies a little bit longer, but they are 410. They're in New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, I think, somewhere. They did IPO, and still they're like 4 times more expensive than AirCar. Again, I don't know how they're going to compete with AirCar with that pricing strategy. So we have a very clear path to market from 2017 to 2025 with product development, man test flights, single-seater, cargo drone. Now we are opening the 2026 San Francisco showroom for increasing the pre-orders, customer experience center. And we are also starting ultralight and cargo drone sales very soon with the showroom opening. For 2027, we sold out AirCar's production 100 units. We'll be busy setting up the manufacturing facility and all kind of stuff. So we don't have big announcement for 2027, but we will try to build that 100 units and deliver them to customers. So I think it's already big. For 2027, again, late 2027, hopefully we get that LSA certification. We will be one of the first companies, especially as a multi-copter, receiving that certification, hopefully. And we will scale the manufacturing operations. After 2030, we will be chasing air taxi operations. So we start with reality. We go where anybody wants the air taxi operations, but we take it by letter by letter. This is cash flow and how much money we are making. This is the most important part. In my opinion, this is highly realistic. In 2026, with the cargo drone and ultralight sales, I think we can do about $5-6 million revenue by 2027. Of course, AirCar LSA 100 units and more drones and more LSA, more ultralight, the revenue projection increases to $40 million. It is still low. By 2028, we will be able to hit $100 million. Of course, with the increased manufacturing capacity. By 2029, again, we can hit 200. And by 2030, if we can unlock this air taxi service, which we think we can, and that revenue goes to $500 million to $800 million. This is, to be honest, highly conservative compared to other eVTOL companies. I think these are doable because in 2031, that $800 million revenue comes from 7,000 units of drones and ultralight, and it is doable. It's not like building a helicopter, which has like 20,000 parts. In AirCar, we have like 900 parts. So it is highly manufacturable, especially drone, we got no problem. We can build that very quickly. And it is highly profitable and good looking financials, I think. So it's a little bit complex here. If you're, want to dig it, you will be able to get the presentation. And thank you very much for the presentation. You listening me. I will show you the video for the cargo drone flight, and then I will get the questions. I think you may have some questions. Meanwhile, I will share the last video that we fly the cargo drone. This was the first flight. I'm sorry, not the last one. This was the first flight. You will see in the first flight how it flies. Yeah, that was the first flight because we got a lot of experience how to make those stuff work. So in the first flight, this was the result, and now we are transitioning to longer flights and heavier payloads. But the drone flies, AirCar 2-seater flies, single-seater flight, whatever we claim, we have them all. So this is why I want to share the video. And if there's any questions, I would like to get to questions. I think there are some. Yes. The first question, for the 30 hours of training to fly, do you have a plan to actually provide that training at scale? To be honest, we are considering to open a flight school, at least in one state or a few states, at least California, Florida, Texas. But we will probably partner with flight schools, and we will ship them AirCars, so you will be able to get your LSA license in almost all states. So this is our plan. It will happen part by part. At 30 hours is like a week of training. We will try to get deal with training schools again, but probably we will have our base as well. Otherwise, it will be impossible to make it work. Another question, after 1,000 plus test flights, what still needs work? To be honest, we keep pushing the weight down, and the less vibration and less noise is crucial. We will be working on noise problem. It's not, I measured the noise. It is 3.5 times less noisy to human ear compared to a helicopter, a two-seat helicopter, not the big ones. Big ones are, extremely noisy. So we are about 3 to 4 times less noisy when you compare it with a two-seat helicopter. But still, once I sit inside, I want to speak with the other passenger. So we will be working on that part as well. We had vibration problem, 90% we solved it, but still there's a little bit vibration. It's not as comfortable as a car when I flew inside. Okay, but it might be a little bit disturbing for some people, especially the people who are not familiar with helicopters. So those are the important parts. Weight, vibration, noise. The interior noise, not the exterior. Exterior, we have no problem. Another question, where do investments actually go first between personal flight, cargo drones, and air taxis? It will first go for personal flight and cargo drones because cargo drones, we can make a lot of money. There's a huge market. USA banned importing drones from China and other countries. So as soon as we manufacture them in USA, we don't have like Chinese competitors, which they are really advanced in drones. I think there's a big opportunity, a lot of money to build. Also, the personal flight, AirCar single seat and two-seat models. Air taxi, it will happen eventually. So we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna spend any money on air taxis yet. Another question. Another question, you are valued at 100 million and projecting 500 million in revenue by 2030. What are the biggest risks to achieving that? Good question. Yeah, we are 100 million valuation. I just, when you compare your car valuation with other guys, especially the ones did IPO, one company is $9 billion. I'm not going to give the names, you can check them. The other one is about 4 billion, other one is about, I think, 6 billion. Another one exactly same, doing the same products from China, they're about $1 billion. So 100 million is, I think, a good deal at this stage compared to other people. Even though other companies, eVTOL companies, with a single product that either fly or it's gonna fly, it's in like render stage or not finished full prototype, they are even getting valuation about 250 and 300 million dollars. We wanted to keep the valuation low, especially with discounts. You get 15% discount if you invest in the next 2-3 days, and then if you invest like over $2,500 or $5,000, you get like 5-10% discounts. So average valuation will be like $80 million. I think it's just not much for a flying car company. Built 3 products, flew inside, and received a lot of orders. This is the one part. Second part, $5 million in revenue. I don't see many risks. The biggest risk will be that we will market drone, market ultralight, but somehow FAA changes the rules for Mosaic. They may postpone it a year, and they may make that changes. But still, for ultralight and cargo drone, nothing will change. We don't make $500 million, we make $300 million. Or we lean on more on drones. We build different drones and we work with military. We sell them to military. There's a huge market for it. We don't go into that, but maybe if we lose that momentum, discussing with the shareholders, we can go into that military part as well, defense sector. Right now, we don't have any intent. But yeah, this is the risk. Any change in FAA's trajectory, I don't expect that, but just in case it happens, we may lose some portion of that 500 million. The reason we have 3 products, they are in different categories. Drone, a heavyweight drone. Ultralight requires no pilot license, requires no certification, and AirCar two-seater certified under LSA. 3 different paths, 3 different use cases. So let's say we lose one of them, we can keep pushing the other ones and at least get some portion of that big revenue. Another question, what What has been the most surprising engineering challenge you didn't expect going in, and how did you solve it? The big two problems: vibration, electromagnetic interference caused huge problem. You never see them. Nobody tests tests that to you. You just learn how to solve them, or even understand they exist by experience and how to solve them. Mostly invisible to eye. Those were big challenges. It took us a lot of time to solve them properly. Again, another one, the carbon fiber chassis. We built many of them. Either they got very heavy, or when they're extremely lightweight, they do a lot of vibration, or just they do a lot of movement that loses the aircraft's stability. To being able to build that chassis at about 80 pounds was a big challenge. We had to do many prototypes, and it takes a lot of time to build new composite chassis and change everything. But again, we solved that. Yeah, those were big problems. We had many problems, I think, but those, I may say, really did hurt. I'm also thinking software, we didn't have any problem. Cabling, we didn't have any problem. Aerodynamics, nothing. Landing skin. Motors, we didn't have any problem. Yeah, mostly vibration, electromagnetic, AMI is the big problems. Another question is, when are you planning to get FAA approval? Now we are applying for special airworthiness certificate for test flight to do that properly, especially in airport. I think we will get that in a month or so. That we get that experimental batch on the aircraft and fly it in airport. And as soon as FAA allows us to be able to apply for LSA certification under Mosaic, we will be able to do that legally, I think June. And then in June, FAA will receive the applications. We will apply as soon as possible. And we will do a lot of demonstration flight with special airworthiness certificate. We will get the airworthiness certificate in a few months. It will be special, which means it's for test flights. But it also gives us a lot of exposure. Most of the companies, they get it and they market it as they get like certification. It's, to be honest, it's for test flight. We will get that. And after that, we will apply. I hope we will be able to get LSA certification in a year. We will see. To be honest, even FAA doesn't know what we built. We engaged with FAA 4 years ago. They were like really eager to learn what we built, what technologies we use. So we will explore those things together. Is there any other questions I may answer? Yeah, another one is, what about risk mitigations to EMP threats? Well, when we designed the aircrafts, we build everything on redundancy. If you take your car, except the chassis, if you separate that whole battery system, motor system, propeller system, cable system, flight controller, main batteries, small batteries, provide 24 volts, whatever power distribution system, we can fly two products. So we have redundancy at all levels. This is a common approach for aviation. If we were in space, we would have like three systems, like one fails and then other fails, and then there's the third backup. So we always save the second backup. And then we design everything, again, any threats that if the first of all, your car is now manual. You have a joystick that you fly. So nobody can take control. It's like you cannot control. It's not like drone that somebody can take over the control, because we are not connected to aircraft with data link. The pilot sits inside and it flies. It's just like a helicopter. So if whatever the risk mitigation applies to helicopter, if there's a threat about EMP, we have the same problem. Otherwise, we don't have the problem. So Since it's not a drone, we don't expect any threats because we are always connected to flight controller by wire. Although systems running the cameras, making decisions for any problems, they are working on board with the GPUs. So we are not connected outside, except we provide data to outside, but we don't mostly get data from outside. We have one-way communication. We let them know where you are. We let them know if we have any problems, whatever, but we don't really get any comments from outside. We try to mitigate that. Yeah, I think as far as I see, we don't have any other questions. We are about to fulfill 1 hour time, and if I don't see any more questions, so I would like to thank you all for joining this webinar about AirCar. If you have any further questions, you can always refer the, for investment part SEC files, or you can directly send us an email, and we will be very happy to answer. And thank you very much for joining this webinar, and hopefully we will take AirCar up in skies all together. Thank you.